All right, let's talk about how to make your listings a lead generation magnet. So I was online the other day. I'm on a Facebook group called Labco Agents. It's a bunch of agents from literally all over the world. I think just kind of a place for them to come together, ask questions, get advice, vent sometimes. And this guy got on there the other day and he was complaining about this client who sounds like purchasing either a multi-million dollar property or multiple million-dollar properties. And he asked this agent to sell a house for 1% at $125,000. We can all do the math on that. $1,250. I get it. That's not a lot of money, but we're not going into all of that and why it might be worth it when you're selling when you're helping them buy multi-million dollar properties. The point is, he was hesitant to do it, and everybody kept coming on there. Half of them were, of course, justifying this, saying it won't even cover the cost of marketing, and a bunch of other ones were kind of putting forth a perspective of, hey, you're going to make a whole bunch of money on the backside. But I actually want to come at this from a marketing perspective. Let's talk about how you can actually take that listing and turn it into lead generation basically for free. So we're gonna break this down into 3 different segments. We're gonna have your just listed activities, your open house activities, and your just sold activities. In each of these segments, I'm gonna give you 3 different activities that you can be doing for lead generation. Once you've listed the property, let's talk about the 3 things that you should be doing. First of all, use a social media template and get that just listed on social media. Bonus points if you're asking, are you thinking about selling? And then offering a seller's guide in exchange for their information. Number 2 is the flyer. Yes, I know this doesn't seem like a lead generation idea, but it is. First of all, those flyers are your first presentation to any potential seller or buyer. However you're presenting the property is the way that you're going to present a property for them, or just shows the way that you do business. So make sure that you have a nice flyer. Then add a QR code to the bottom that either takes them to your website or say something like, want to see more listings like this, and have it take them to a link of listings just like this. It's a great way to capture their info and follow up with them later on. Finally, the just listed postcard. This doesn't necessarily need to go out to the entire neighborhood, but create a just listed postcard and send it out to the immediate neighbors. Then we're gonna follow up after we're just sold, so you have even another touch with them. Next up, we have your open house. Yes, I said it, open house. I know if you're like me, you don't necessarily love doing open houses. I've never been a big fan of them. I don't know, they just kind of seem a little forced to me. But go ahead and do one on this because I've got some great ways to make it pay off. Let's talk about them. First, we've got your social media announcement again. Make sure that you have it on social media. Anytime that you can put out what you're doing on social media and get people engaged is great. Make sure you're asking in there, are you thinking about buying or selling, and offer them a free guide as well. Use the open house kit template in that Captivating Social. Now, if you don't have access to that Captivating Social, you should, but let me tell you what's in the open house kit and why you should be using it. They are signs that you can put up at your open houses to capture information. The 2 signs that I like best that I think you should be using is 1, a sign-in sheet with a QR code. I don't really like talking to people when I go into open houses as a buyer. I'm just there to look around, but I'm much more willing to take a picture of a QR code and sign up for information that way, as opposed to actually giving it to somebody or writing it down on a sheet. Second, have a QR code that says, want more listings like this. Prepare a list of listings, have somebody scan that QR code, enter their information for access to that list. I've used this at open houses before and it is gangbusters, because if somebody isn't interested in that property, they're obviously interested in other properties out there. Third and final is your buyers and sellers guides. Instead of handing out cards at an open house, hand out buyers and sellers guides to potential people, whether they're active buyers that are looking or neighbors. Kind of make the judgment based off of that. This is a great way to give them all the information and your contact information, and they're probably not gonna lose a buyer's guide or a seller's guide like they are a card. You've sold your home, now what? Well, I mentioned it before, I'm in both the listing and the open house. Make sure that you put a social media template. Now, you can use one of just the house, but one I think is more personal is when you actually capture the client, capture what's happening at closing, and give a little summary about how you actually made that transaction close. Again, don't forget to ask, are you thinking about buying or selling, and offer a free guide in exchange for their information. Number 2, I mentioned it with the just listed postcards, you're gonna wanna send out a just sold postcard. Send it to the exact same people in the near vicinity, telling them exactly what you did to get that property sold. And number 3, you're gonna wanna do CMAs for the neighbors. Now, I'm not talking about all the neighbors, that's a lot of work, but pick the ones that are closest, maybe pick that street or whatever, and prepare quick CMAs for each of those homes to hopefully give them something to follow up with you on. If they are interested in selling, maybe seeing actual numbers will get them to make that transition and get them off the fence. You can do this really easy with information from RPR or different things like that, or just your MLS, and then use one of our CMA templates to just input that information and print it out so you've got a beautiful presentation for each of your neighbors. Now, I shouldn't have to say this should just be common sense, but make sure you follow up with every single person that you collected information from during this activity. So whether it's from the open house, whether it's from your social media templates and somebody requesting a guide, make sure that you're following up with them. Put them on a drip campaign, put their number in your phone and follow up with text messages or DMs or something. Just be in touch. Remember, it takes 8 times for the average person to convert. So you're gonna wanna follow up. This is a great way to get their information, put them in a drip campaign or something else, connect with them on Facebook and Instagram to continue to grow that relationship and be the first one that they come to. I really hope this has given you guys some great ways to turn that listing into lead generations and continue to explode your business. If you're needing help with more marketing solutions, we have plenty of resources for you available at thatcaptivatingsocial.com. We've got templates, blogs, emails, just basically anything that you need for your business. You can head over to thatcaptivatingsocial.com and get signed up, and you get instant access.